Hello, this is Jane Stavum, Superintendent of the Sioux Falls School District, and this is our podcast. Join us for an audible look inside the Sioux Falls School District, where we'll put a spotlight on the people, places, and practices of our district. Well, hi everybody, and welcome back to our podcast. I am sitting out at the Career and Technical Academy. If you drive by these big buildings on the interstate, everybody wonders, now what is that? Is that Sioux Falls or is that Southeast? The answer is yes, it's both. And if I have my way, we're gonna have a big billboard out here by next year, so people know that this is a wonderful place and very much part of the Sioux Falls School District. And specifically today, I'm sitting in the Ag Pathway Lab, which is a gigantic fun room full of wonderment. And we're going to talk about that today with my guests, Kimmie Martin, our outstanding ag teacher, and Izzy, who's a sophomore from Lincoln High School. So welcome.
Hi, thank you.
So you just got done with class. What were you learning about today, Izzy?
We were learning about the safety of livestock and how to properly go behind livestock and what to do around them.
That is a helpful skill as somebody who once was kicked by her horse. It's a good thing to know around large and small animals.
Yeah.
Well, this is a relatively new program and has come about during the advent of my time here in Sioux Falls. And so let's back up just a step. When did you come to the district, Kimmie, and what brought you here?
I came to the district 2 years ago, or about a year and a half ago, in my second year right now. But the program's only 3 years old. I came to the program because the teacher that was here, his first year, the program's year, knew someone in Montana that I was working with and student teaching with, and they knew each other because the person I was with went to SDSU, and they collaborated during practicums and student teachings and all that jazz, and saw the post on Facebook of all places.
Good, our social media is working.
Yeah, saw the post on Facebook and said that the past teacher was fantastic, and if he was really animal science based, and I loved animal science, and that was what I really wanted to do, that if the admin was great, he trusted the old teacher's opinion, and it was something that seemed kind of interesting, and I should apply and go for it.
And here you are.
And here I am.
Must have worked out.
I truthfully did not think I was qualified for this position whatsoever. I was fresh out of college. They were like, they want someone way more qualified, way more experienced, not someone fresh out of college. But here I am.
Fresh out, fresh ideas, fresh perspective. And you're right, we had a very successful first year with our first teacher here, and then you came in to continue that work, and you've just done such a great job. It's been fun to see kind of what's out here. And one of my first questions when I came to the district was, why doesn't the district have FFA, Future Farmers of America? And I said, I don't know, let's get it. And so that led to kind of the development of the program, and now we have FFA, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Izzy, tell us why you decided to take a class out here at CTE.
So my mom's side has always had a family farm, and I go up there every summer. I just love animals. I want as many animals as I can have one day. So I wanted to take an animal class to be closer to animals and learn more about them, so what I could do for them.
So what was it like to work that into your schedule? Because you have to come from Lincoln High, which of course is not right next door like Jefferson. What does that look like in terms of your class schedule this semester?
Luckily for me, this semester and last semester, I both had the morning one, so I just get up, drive over here, and then I have about 20 minutes-ish to get back to Lincoln, and they're very open about when I get back.
That's good. That's good. And you probably can't stop at the coffee shop.
No, I can't.
Oh, good. She has time for coffee. Priorities.
Thank goodness.
Isn't that funny? We didn't have those options back in the day, but I know kids do now, and they use them, which is fine. I love that you love animals, and so you have a farm in your life. Do you have classmates that don't have any connection to a farm?
Yeah, I have a lot, actually.
Yeah, what's their interest? Like, what do you think brings other kids out here to the program?
A lot of kids like animals. A lot of kids want to go into vet tech and be a veterinarian, so they want to get started earlier to go into like a Southeast Tech program.
Yeah, and that's a great connection that we have with Southeast. They can just get started here, get credits, and then be ready to go. Where are some other programs in higher ed, Kimmie, that our students may be interested, where this is kind of a great first step to launch them into that career?
Some other programs in higher ed is SDSU. There's at least 3 or 4 students that just graduated last year that are there for animal science, either the veterinarian track or just animal science in general, and they don't quite know what they want to do with it yet. And we also have a connection with Pipestone, that farm in Minnesota, and then they have a connection with UM and I think it's the University of Iowa. And so they have that connection through this class as well.
So a lot of tentacles along with ag, precision ag, bio ag, all of kind of those different programs that exist now. I think people, even in my generation who grew up on a farm, it was much more low tech than it is now. And food production, using technology to do precision farming, watering only where the water's needed versus just turning on the pivot to everything. All of that is just so fascinating. And so I'm so glad we have this program for kids to kind of explore. But I know animals are really, really interesting to kids. So what animals have you interacted with at the program out here, Izzy, so far?
So we have our chickens and our guinea pigs, and then we had 2 cats this year, one of which I actually adopted.
Oh, did you take one of those kittens that was out here?
took
Or did you take the mother?
I took the first cat home that we had.
Okay.
And then we got our second cat who had all her kittens.
That was pretty special, wasn't it? Yeah. I loved that. Tell us why you brought an expectant cat mother into the midst.
So I volunteer at the Sioux Falls Area Humane Society over the summers, and it's a fun way for me to get out and work with animals over the summer when I don't have all my stuff here. And one day they were asking all their volunteers if they wanted to be a foster. I live in an apartment. I have other pets. I immediately said no and didn't want to do it. But I was out walking my favorite dog and was like, I have this really cool opportunity. I have this really cool workplace. Why can't I do that at school? So I immediately turned around, ran back in, asked if they were interested in doing something like that at a school situation, and they loved the idea. It was kind of mutually beneficial for both of us. The students got the opportunity to see the foster side, the vet tech, vet med side.
So many pieces there.
So many pieces. And then it was beneficial for them to get, a foster taken care of, get exposure for adoptable animals, and, animals taken care of.
And then the whole birthing thing happened.
And then babies were born. So we had 7 babies born and ended up returning 5. And mom was returned as well. She eventually got adopted. I don't know by who. I took one of the babies home, so I accidentally foster failed one.
It's not a failure. I know the
right.
rules, but
so it was super awesome, and I think it was super fun. It ended up taking, like 2.5 months, but it was so fun.
So many teachable moments, and that's what I love about your creativity, because we've seen that in other ways too. Now, when we're talking about animal husbandry, birthing animals, you have a larger friend coming, I believe, in March.
Yes.
A little bit larger than a cat. Tell us about
just a
the
little
animal
bit.
that's going to come again in March.
Just a little bit larger. So we have a sow, or a pig. She's about 400, 500 pounds. She comes March 3rd. She gets delivered. And March 5th-ish will farrow or have babies.
Yes. Through our partnership with
Pipestone. Yep. Through our partnership with Pipestone Farms. Unclear what farm she comes from, because they have about 20 in the area. I'll find out and get back to you.
She's going to live her best life here at CTE for a few weeks.
She gets all the food and treats and snacks and snuggles and brushes she wants and has her babies. Don't know how many.
Yeah.
Last year had 19 babies.
That was a big year.
It was crazy. The year before, I want to say, had 14.
I think that was right. And when we first started the program out here, the space we're sitting in right now was redone just a bit. The space where the hog is now was just a delivery loading space, and our wonderful staff and operations came out and kind of retrofitted it with the ventilation that's needed, the heat, the smell containment factor, which I have to say, every time I've been out here after the sow comes, you can't even tell.
Amazing.
Yeah, so whoever put that in, they did a
Great
great job.
job.
Were you here
Kudos
last
to
year,
you.
Izzy, when we had the hog?
No, this is my first year.
Okay, well, that's going to be fun. And I think that's just such a great opportunity for kids to see and then to explore all of the aspect that go with that, because those pigs are not kept for pets. There's a whole economic feature to having pork production, and learning about that is pretty unique. Let's see, I was going to ask about the plants and the tanks over here. Tell us about that.
The plants in the tanks, we have about a 900-gallon aquaponics system. It runs with a fish tank, and it runs through lava, clay, rock, leca pebbles, and then it goes to a float tank and a reservoir. All of the plants we currently have in it is we have some Roma tomatoes, some just like standard tomatoes, and then we have this really fun hybrid called baby boomer tomatoes. And so they look like cherry tomatoes, but they taste just like a standard tomato. They're just small. And then all of the smaller little bitty plants is peppers of various kinds. So sweet peppers, bell peppers, habaneros, jalapenos, all those. They're just little bitty babies right now, but they're getting there. Our horticulture class just planted them like the first day of school. So they are just little, but by the end of the semester, they'll be producing like no other. And then we have a vertical grower as well that's full of pretty much all lettuce and leafy greens and everything. All of those leafy greens go to our guinea pigs or chickens, and kind of goes back to feeding
Self-sustaining farming for your livestock.
Self-sustaining.
So Izzy, what's the best part about coming out here for this course? What do you love the most?
Martin.
Thanks.
Well, that's pretty great. How much did she pay you? No.
She's made a very big impact on my life.
Yep.
And helped me like with FFA, because I wanted to get into FFA. And before in middle school, before we had the program, and then once I became a high schooler and we had the program, I was like, I want to do FFA.
Oh, that makes my heart sing. Tell me what you love about FFA. What should kids know about it?
It's very much, you have a lot of free range on what you can do with the competitions, and you have a voice. I did my prepared public speaking this last year for our LDEs, and I very much felt like I had a voice and helped me gain the courage to public speak and speak out in front of people.
What was your topic?
Mental health and agricultural careers.
Oh, I love that. And I peeked through the window here. You were watching a slide that had Temple Grandin mentioned on it. Did you feel a connection there a little bit? Yeah. Well, tell me a little bit about ag and mental health. What's the connection there?
Ag and mental health is a very big deal in today's world, because a lot of rural farmers don't have the resources to go out and seek help. So we really need to start a program where we can figure out a way to help farmers, because we also have seen a 16% increase in farmer suicides just over the last year alone.
Wow, that's a great statistic to share. You know, I grew up on a farm, and so the ups and downs and your dependence upon what the weather does, what the markets do, what your machinery does, your cash flow, all of those factors. Agriculture is a marvelous field, but there's a lot of variables that happen, and families that are given their all to produce things for the world and for all of us. It's a huge field, and I'm glad that you are taking such a strong interest. What are some other things that are beneficial for kids in FFA? If a student doesn't know what it is, what would you tell them?
I tell them if you really want to get into an ag career such as like vet med, livestock management, anything on the farm field, that FFA would be very good because you learn a lot. You learn a lot about livestock, anything that has to do with farming, how to do business, how to do sales. It'd be very beneficial because then once you go out into college and into that career, you'll already have those skills. And a lot of employers ag employers look for the FFA sign, and that's how they determine who they hire.
I know those kids know how to get up, dress up, and show up is what they know. That's good. Anybody participating in your class, or anybody you know in the livestock show that's going on this week?
Not in the livestock show that's going on this week.
There's also the farm show happening
Yeah,
this week.
the farm show is kind of exciting. We're really interested in going to the farm show. The times just didn't really work out for our classes. But there was also a pork producers show last week, I think the 15th and 16th. We don't know anyone that was in this livestock show, but there was a couple of students that took home piglets from our sow last year that was in livestock shows over the
great.
summer. And I went out and helped and watched them and did all their livestock show stuff with all pigs and stuff. But
A lot goes into that, not just showing up with your animal.
It's super intense.
Yeah. Not everybody knows about judging and breed standards and all of those things that go into that. You talk about that, I believe, in one of your classes, correct? The breed standards?
In both large animal science and small animal science.
Yeah, that's always interesting for kids to learn and then to go and show. So wonderful. Well, Izzy, I need you to give a plug for the Career Academy and the opportunities are out here, and what you would tell students about finding maybe this pathway or maybe one of the others that exists out here with carpentry or automotives or healthcares. What would you tell kids?
Well, when you're in middle school, of course, you come out here and tour.
Which is great.
And as a freshman, you come out here and tour. And a lot of kids think that they don't need it. It's just another extra credit that they don't need. But it actually gives you a really nice plug into your future career. If you know what you want to go in to do, then come out here because you can start that early. I know the health careers class, you can get your CNA early. You can come out here and learn all about ag careers and start that early. There's aviation, there's welding and mechanics. If you have that knowledge going into school, you'll succeed.
Well, I can tell you are going to be extremely successful because you figured that out at a very early age. And there are a world of opportunities out here, this being one of them, and just such a unique, fun learning environment that we hope more and more kids will be part of the ag pathway. Is there anything that you'd like to talk about or give a shameless plug with partnerships or some things where our community might connect with you in the program?
My shameless plugs for CHS. We have amazing CHS partnerships. They do fantastic work with the elevators out in Brandon and the fertilizer plant that's soon to also be an elevator out in Worthing. And Bob Goodroad, lovingly known as CHS Bob, comes in constantly to work with us for either class things or FFA things, and his trade is agronomy, so he helps with the horticulture classes, and so he's amazing. But an FFA plug, if you are actually interested in an agricultural career and you know you want to go to college and college is that step for you, the National FFA organization has given out about $4.6 million in scholarships every year for the last about 10 years. And who doesn't love free money? College is expensive. If you're interested, you know that college is expensive. So there's money there. You just have to show up and actually be in FFA to get that. So
Great opportunity.
It's a great opportunity. And it's not just farming and livestock. It's marketing, it's business, it's how to be professional, how to make a resume, how to make a cover letter, things you actually need in everyday life.
So many
at some
strong
point.
leadership connections there. So lots of great things happening. Of course, we want to thank some very generous community members, business representatives who have been willing to sit on our advisory committee. And we've had some very generous donors who have also provided funding as we've kind of launched this. And the most exciting part, we're building a barn.
Yeah.
So we received a grant from the state of South Dakota. Do you want to just talk briefly about what's going to go in that brand new facility?
There will be for
Izzy's
sure.
excited.
Izzy's so
Yay.
excited.
She'll hopefully get
I'll
to
be a
still be
senior.
here. Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
be a senior that year.
That's awesome.
Izzy's like jumping out of her seat. There will for sure be a barn with, I believe, 6 stalls that all have access to an outside pen area, and then its own like feed room and med cabinets for all of those, and a greenhouse that has its own like horticultural head house of prep room for that greenhouse. An animal science classroom, a massive animal science classroom.
So fun.
And not greenhouse, horticulture classroom, and like mechanics, tractor, storage, supply,
Spot to put the stuff.
Spot to put the stuff,
Yeah.
to do the things, and lots of new equipment, lots of new machinery, and so obviously the barn comes along with
Right.
animals.
Yes.
And I have been waiting, Dr. Stavum knows I've been waiting for the day that I have been allowed to bring a cow into the building.
As a fellow cow preference person, I tolerated it starting off with
Yeah.
a pig, but we're gonna
We've been
move
waiting for days for the cows.
An ad, yes. And that's going to be a wonderful addition. It's also going to be a great new opportunity for additional partnerships and people to come alongside of us. And if we get that big billboard right out where it's hopefully positioned to go, we're just seconds away from getting that. We'll be able to provide some great informational pieces out there, some plugs to those partners, all those kinds of things I think will be a great addition and visible from the road. I think that's
Yes.
going to be one of the greatest things is
Prime
you'll be able to
spot.
see that out there and bring even more recognition to the program. So exciting times ahead. Glad you'll still be around, Izzy. That'll be super fun for you. And then we're going to have to dream up a new pathway to go in this space. And
Yeah.
I won't be here by then, but I'm sure there is room to grow and envision some new things here at the Career Academy. Thanks for all you've done.
Thank you.
And the way that you've accelerated things. Izzy, great job. And so glad that you've found your spot and your people, and your future looks very bright. So another example of how ag makes the world go around and does great things to help people grow. Oh,
Cute.
yeah, there you go. Have a great day.